driving home. Drunker than I want to be because I've been trying to abstain. But I also bought some Coke. And I took a pretty healthy line. And now I'm driving. I feel fine. We'll be alright. I just wish I was hanging out, not fucking driving. But I have responsibilities. I have to write this fucking goddamn paper. I'm gonna do it on the decline. I'm gonna do it on the decline of Western civilization. Like a cutthroat, but some of the things that I believe in just don't match up with what is going on with our world. I mean, our world is just it's ridiculously in shambles right now. Like we're just like watching, we're just an audience to the things that are going wrong, and there's so much to like talk about, but nobody's fucking talking about it. It's like, why aren't we talking about it? Is right now, because right now is not what is right now. It's fucking ridiculous. We should be able to we've entered a time to where we don't have a choice. They give us a choice. They make it seem like we have a fucking choice. Like we have a voice, but we don't have a fucking voice or a choice. We just have the voice of even when we try to voice what we want our choice to be, all they do is ambush us and make us feel like we are the problem when we're not the fucking problem. Like, who engineered that? Who engineered that fucking, like, say, like, Antifa, for instance? Who fucking engineered that Antifa was, like, the fucking bad guy? Like, Antifa literally stands for, like, anti-fascism. But the fucking far-right people try to fucking make it out to, like, we are the fucking like fascist fucking people. Who the fuck? Where the fuck did that come from? Like, are people so indoctrinated with just fucking like the parroting of things being said that they don't fucking understand the logic that is like in black and white, dude? Like, who would ever fucking like attack anti-fucking fascism in a way to where they think that they are the fucking problem? Like, people being anti-fascist is a fucking good thing. That's not a fucking bad thing. Why would anyone try to turn that organization inside out? It just doesn't make sense to me at all. And, you know, I'm driving home. I did a little bit of fucking cocaine. I drank more than I fucking probably should have, you know, and I'm blessed with the fucking skills to be able to navigate myself home to where I can fucking be comfortable. But where the fuck is home? There are so many fucking people out there that are fucking like, they don't even know where the fuck they're going right now. Like, why? I have been one of those people. I've been the people to where I didn't know where the fuck I was gonna go. I mean, I'm one step. I feel like most people are at least fucking 2 steps away from being fucking homeless. I mean, I'm 1 step away. I graduate myself into fucking relationships to where if anything goes wrong, I am typically the one that has to fucking leave and fucking restart my life. I have had to restart my life so many fucking times. I mean, let's count them, dude. Like, at least 7 times in my life, I have had to start over from fucking scratch. I've been fucking homeless. I've romanticized homelessness at one point because I don't know why I did that, but I did romanticize it for a bit, and it was a struggle, you know. I mean, yes, I took my guitar out. I was downtown, so there was plenty of fucking people. This is before COVID. And, you know, I would play my guitar and sing my songs, and I would have my fucking pup dog with me. And whether they donated because of her or not is beside the point. Like, I feel like I had some good fucking tunes, but I know that I don't want to fucking be in that fucking situation again. I don't ever want to fucking be in that situation again. That shit fucking sucks. I mean, I was basically in that situation after I broke my back. You know, I had nowhere to fucking go. After I had my mental breakdown where I fucking tried to kill myself, because I fucking like, I didn't have any hope. I had nothing. I didn't know where to go. It took a hard steer for me to fucking put it into perspective and to make fucking changes in my life. You know, now I'm in college. I've decided that I want to be a respiratory therapist, and I'm going for that. I'm shooting for that. I have goals now, which before I did not have. And it fucking sucks because, like, you know, it's like me letting go of the wheel right now as I'm driving and just letting the road take me to where the fuck I was gonna go. I mean, and we all know where it's gonna go when you take the wheel, your hands off the fucking wheel. You're gonna fucking, I'm gonna crash into all these fucking trees. I'm gonna end up in the fucking forest. The forest of fucking goddamn nothing, where the only thing that's gonna happen to me is I'm gonna fucking end up lost and dead and forgotten and had made no fucking like progressive fucking like impact into the world. And as much fucking goddamn bullshit as I've been through in my fucking life, which is a fucking lot, like so much. Oh, I'm turning in the wrong goddamn section. It's been a lot, dude, and it would be a fucking like sad, it would be a sad ending if I were to just fucking like disappear and not have given any of my fucking like experiences, which I know for a fact many fucking people go through, but I should be able to fucking like voice and be able to give my wisdom of what I fucking learned to at least fucking like somebody. I mean, if I could touch fucking like 5 fucking people and have them fucking like not follow the same fucking path that I have driven myself into, I would die a fucking happy person. I've already fucking, I mean, dude, like, I honestly, I don't understand why the fuck I'm even still fucking alive, dude. Like, I have to be here for something. And that something is most likely because fucking I haven't shared what I've learned yet. And I think that is like, I think that's what life is being able to fucking share your experience to fucking maybe help someone else not make the same grave fucking mistakes that have been made in my fucking life. And, you know, the fucked up thing about my grave mistakes is the grave mistakes that I have made within my fucking life could have been avoided, because I could have easily fucking avoided my mistakes, because nobody fucking told me about my fucking past until I was already fucking grown and fucking didn't fucking need the advice anymore. One
when I was 17, I was in situations to where, honestly, from like 15 to fucking like 27, I was in situations where I was not a good person. I was selling drugs. I was fucking using drugs, and not. I never got it. I never let myself fucking slip. But I had my fun. I'm 43 years old now, and I don't fuck around. Like, I dabble in a little bit of fucking cocaine here and there, like, powder. Nothing to fucking write home about. I drink a couple beers here and there, but I used to be a fucking like diehard fucking alcoholic. Like, it was bad, dude. Like, now, I quit smoking weed for a long time, like 4 or 5 years, and now I can't even really smoke weed anymore. It's just like too much for me. But I remember being like 17 years old, like talking to a meth head that was all skied up, and I had dabbled a little bit myself, and I get to talking whenever, I dabble. But he was, telling me about, like, his mistakes and how, like, he felt fucking, like, just basically, like, opening up and giving his fucking soul to me, dude. And, I remember, but I hate fucking talking about myself, dude, but, like, I feel like I am, and I've been told, and, I don't say this to, like, try to boost my fucking self or anything, because I hate doing that, but, like, I'm an old soul, man. Like, I understood people, like, when I was young, being a fucking, like, adult and talking to adults as adults, and fucking, like, everybody, like, has always told me that, like, I was wise for my years. I was an old soul, basically. And, I remember, going back to the meth head that was telling me his fucking story, like, I remember talking to him, and I was talking to him deep, and fucking, like, giving him advice about shit that I haven't even gone through yet, but later on I had. But I would still say the fucking same things, and he fucking, like, broke down and fucking cried to me. And I was like 17 years old. I didn't know fucking how to act to that. This dude's like, at least in his 40s at the time. He's probably fucking, my age, talking about his fucking goddamn problems and shit, like, I got all kinds of fucking problems I can talk about, but I don't really open my bottles. I tighten my shit, and that's part of my problem, like, I have so many fucking bottles. I got cases. I don't have a bottle, dude. If I had one bottle, I would pop the cork on that shit and fucking let it go. I go to therapy. I fucking, go to psychiatrists, and I've tried to kill myself like 3 solid times in my life where, like, where I was, like, not expecting to fucking live. And this last time, I guess it's been, like, April of last year, and this is June of this is July 22nd, and I don't know. I think the time is probably around midnight or so, so it might be like June 23rd. But I mean, I'm 43 years old, man. This life has been fucking cruel to me, but like, maybe that's what I deserve, you know? Like, I try to find love wherever I can. I've been in search because, I mean, I have abandonment issues because of my fucking childhood. I have my mom, you know, I love her to death. I love my mom. I mean, she's like my rock. She's the one that like keeps me solid, but it's like she also like works against me, you know, and I gotta take her with a grain of salt because sometimes I tell her stuff and I try to ask her for advice because I want to know, because I mean, she's an old head. She's older than me. She's been through, you know, she was a single mom. She raised me like by herself. You know, I didn't find out that my fucking actual father was my father until I was like motherfucking 30 some odd years old. I don't even remember. But apparently he wanted to be a part of my life, so he wanted to meet me. So my mom fucking called me out of the fucking blue. I was like fucking like nursing a fucking goddamn shitty fucking hangover. And I had asked her fucking like so many fucking times, dude. Like, you know, is Paul Davis my actual father? And she always told me yes. Because I always wondered, because everybody treated me like fucking shit. And I got passed around. Like, passed around so much. When I was a kid, dude, like, nobody wanted me, dude. And it made me even more angry. And I know that I had fucking, like, emotional problems, but who fucking wouldn't, man? Like, you grow up and fucking, like, you feel like nobody fucking wants you. And then I found a place where I was wanted with my Aunt Kathy, which isn't even my fucking blood. My granny, the one that fucking, like, you know, taught me fucking, like, made me want to fucking, like, learn how to fucking cook. Because, like, she was just so great at it. I mean, she like set me aside before she died, which, I mean, that's a whole other story. I mean, me and my cousin Michael fucking like took care of her, like hospice wise. I mean, we were like, gave her medicine when she couldn't swallow anymore. We had to fucking like put pills into our grandmother's orifices. I mean, we were like fucking 15, 16 years old at the time. But nobody else could do it because, I mean, I don't even understand that fucking logic, but goddamn. I mean, it was at that point, because my stepmom, Cindy, I mean, everyone knew that I was not fucking Paul Davis' son. It was like everyone knew but me. My mom knew, all my mom's family. Like, my mom never brought me around her family, which I don't really understand. Like, I don't know. It's like Paul Davis said whenever she got pregnant with Terry's kid, me, that he wanted to fucking like, that was his kid. He wanted to take care of me. He wanted me. So he fucking like boxed Terry out. He boxed him out. But the repercussions of that shit is I got pushed off. Like, everyone knew that I wasn't his kid. My grandma, Dolores, the best fucking lady. I mean, she's like a fucking angel. I mean, I, she's my granny. She took care of me. I stayed with her multiple times. Like, I was raised as a Davis. They never treated me any differently. To this day, I still, Missy Hamp, Kathy. I mean, Kathy's like my mom. I mean, I asked them at my nanny's funeral, my great grandmother. I asked Kathy if I could live with them because I couldn't live with fucking. This is after us taking me and Michael. This is after us taking care of Granny, and then Nanny died. Like, after that, I asked if I could live with them. I couldn't fucking take living with Cindy anymore. She would lock me in my room. Like, I would fucking, like, she would serve me my meals in my room. Like, I wasn't able to. She told me that if I was in a part of the house, that I was to leave because she couldn't fucking stand the sight of me. And before I knew for sure that, like, Paul wasn't my fucking actual dad, I remember hearing, like, phone calls. Like she would, and I don't know if it was staged or not, but, like, I would hear her outside the door or wherever she was, because it was a trailer, because, fucking white trash ass motherfuckers deserve white trash shit. I would hear her, and, she'd be like, his actual dad's, like, right down the street. And this is, like, after my mom, for some reason, my mom, like, took him to divorce court or fucking whatever, and fucking, like, raped him in child support, which, I mean, I fully fucking disagree. Like, if I wasn't his kid, like, he shouldn't be fucking raped in child support. Like, that's kind of fucked up. That's one thing my mom did that I don't agree with. Like, apparently she raped him in fucking child support. But I also have my little brother Brody, which, I had fucking very serious fucking problems as a child. I had emotional problems, and I didn't know how to deal with them. And my mom was a single mom. She fucking, like, had to work all the time. Once I fucking got to be, like, 12 years old, that's when I basically became fucking, like, Brody's fucking, like, overseer, which I was too young to do that. And having the fucking, like, problems that I had as a child, I was not capable of fucking, like, having the responsibility of fucking looking after another fucking human being. I mean, I'm 43 years old right now, and I don't want to fucking have that responsibility. To put that on me at that young of age with all of the fucking shit that I fucking already had fucking going on with me, I fucking treated my brother like fucking garbage, and I fucking feel so fucking bad about that. I mean, there's nothing in this world that fucking, like, haunts me more than the way that I took things out on Brody, because he fucking did not deserve that shit. And now, and I mean, this is back in, like, from 1992 to fucking 1998, and probably before that. Like, he didn't fucking deserve my wrath. I didn't deserve my wrath. I shouldn't have been put in that fucking situation. But I was. It took a long time for me to fucking like, I mean, I went to juvie, I went to a boot camp, fucking, I got out of there, I spent 13 months in fucking jail, and I got out of there, and then fucking, something fucking clicked in me, and I fucking understood that, I understood fucking what was actual fucking reality. Because before that, it was just like normal. Like, I didn't know what normal fucking was. And it's funny to say that because it's like once I realized what normal was, then I fucking strived to achieve normality. And me and my mom went out to dinner one time after I got out of jail. And we were having a deep conversation. And I actually, like, the whole premise of us going out to dinner was because I wanted to fucking have a conversation. And we got into it because I was fed up with being passed around. I was fed up with just being abandoned in life. Like, I mean, I wish I could fucking like emote and be able to fucking like say how it was. I know everybody had a fucking bad childhood. I mean, everybody does. I never was abused. I witnessed my mom being abused. I stood up for her a couple times. When I was a teenager, and actually when I was younger. I heard my mom get slapped. And then fucking her boyfriend, which I'm not gonna name, like, you know, they were a long-term relationship. Like, he fucking picked me up on my collar, fucking like held me up against the wall, and I was like, motherfucker, I will call CPS on you, motherfucker. Like, don't fucking, you can't put your fucking, that was when I was old enough to know what the fuck was like, you know, you ain't, that's not how you treat people, you know, and it sucks, you know, and they say that, like, you know, people that are abused or, like, you know, have been through, like, shit, like, they tend to end up in relationships or, like, things that mimic that life. And when I was younger, yeah, it was weird because it was like, I don't know, it was like normal. That was like my normal, was to, it, not abusive, but like, I mean, I got put in a hole, and it took a long fucking time for me to climb out of that hole. And the relationships that I was in while I was climbing out of that hole kind of mimicked the place that I was at when I was in the hole climbing out. If I was with somebody, like, that brick that I was holding on to trying to get out was like how what I knew. It was like what I knew about. And, it wasn't always fucking pretty, man. It fucking sucked. I've been in like some really bad abusive relationships. And not like where I was just an abusive fucking asshole, because I've never been the person that like was just coming home like trying to fucking like take my fucking anger out on somebody or anything like that. I've always like tried to like keep the peace, but for some reason I've always like found people that fucking are just angry like me. I guess like, I find people that like I guess like we have things in common, but sometimes like the things that we have in common are like fucking not, that we have the good things that are in common, which are fucking, great, but we also have like the fucking dark shit that we have in common. And when those two things collide, it's not fucking good, man. Like, I've had my share of like mentally and, emotional abuse in my life, like from growing up to fucking now, like, I mean, I try to like keep that shit at a distance these days because I don't give anybody ammunition to fucking fire at me. But, when I was coming up, like, I would pour my heart out to people and fucking like tell them like exactly what the fuck was going on. And, we would get in a fucking tiff or whatever, and they would fucking like throw that shit in my face and fucking like, I would have fucking girlfriends that would fucking like try to fight me. Like, I mean, it's like, I know you've been through shit and I know that like you've been abused, but like, I'm not trying to fucking like fight you like that, like, that's not my fucking style, dude. And, I've been in fucking situations where I've had, I mean, I admit it, dude, I've had to put my hands on people, dude, like, whether it be fucking like grabbing them up, like snatching them up and fucking like putting them down on like a couch or fucking, I mean, shit, the floor if I have to. But like, I don't, I'm definitely like gonna defend myself, but I wasn't abused when I was little. Like, I didn't grow up in a situation to where like violence was the answer. Like, for me, it wasn't the violence. For me, it was the psychological shit. Like, and that's something about me that I'm not fucking proud of at all. I'm not proud of being like somebody. I, I mean, yes, I did use. I don't know. It's different, man. Like, yeah, I am. When I was younger, like in my, all like growing up, because I mean, another thing that I should probably share about my upbringing is like we did not live lavishly. I mean, my mom was a single mom. Fucking, my dad lived way out in the fucking country. A lot of my family lives out in the country. Isolated, fucking, I'm a city boy. I don't like being places where it takes fucking like 20 minutes to fucking run to the convenience store. That is not, that's not my style. My mom, she understood that shit too, and you know, she liked living in the city, and whenever I would get passed around, I would get passed around from like city to fucking country to fucking like, you know, but wasn't none of them rich, bro. That's one thing that needs to be fucking said. Like, I was, the high school that I graduated from, that I went to, was 98% black people. The neighborhood that I lived in was, it was the ghetto, man. Like, I mean, it ain't no fucking, it ain't no other way to fucking like say it. Like, I mean, trying to be PC or not or whatever. Like, you know, I grew up poor as fuck. Like, it ain't a bad thing. I'm glad that I fucking was raised like that, because it makes me fucking appreciate fucking like wanting to fucking like have something, because I have had something. I mean, shit, man. When I was selling fucking ecstasy and fucking coke, I was I had more money than I knew what to fucking do with. We lived so fucking lavishly that fucking like it was fucking crazy. I mean, me and Melanie, my ex-wife, I mean, shit, dude. I would go out and in my 20s, we would go out and fucking, I would fucking like go to the fucking bar at like Chili's or fucking like wherever the fuck we went, dude. And I would fucking just buy around for everybody. And it'd be like, you know, 40 fucking some people. You know, have like a $500-600 tab fucking like, you know, just fucking doling that shit out. It did not matter, bro. Like, I mean, it was ridiculous. I mean, one of the reasons, and you know, it is the main reason, whether other people want to object or tell a different story, the real story of why me and my ex-wife split up is because we were fucking rolling ecstasy like constantly. And it was kind of like the same thing that I did with me and Carrie. She came to me and was like, yo, I can't do this shit no more. Because we were eating like 10 pills a night, dude. Like, I mean, we were fucking rolling our asses off constantly, dude. And we had a little baby, man, little Donovan. I mean, he was fucking fresh out the fucking goddamn box, dude. Like, you know, I mean, at the time that me and her finally split, I mean, he was like 14, 15 months or so. But I was a fucking great fucking dad. I wanted to be a dad. I read all of the books. Melanie didn't even fucking want, when she was pregnant, dude, she would fucking like get so fucking mad at me. She never did anything while she was pregnant. I give her fucking props for that. I mean, she smoked weed, but I mean, that shit didn't fucking matter. That ain't nothing. She quit smoking cigarettes and everything. Like, you know, I mean, I'm happy with her for that, dude. I mean, you know, she gave us a fucking great fucking dude. But I wanted to be I wanted to be a fucking great dad. I fucking read, what to expect when you're expecting. I fucking, like, knew all of the fucking answers. Like, whenever she would, like, have something, I would fucking be the one that's like, oh, well, it's probably fucking blah, blah. Because I read up on that shit. I studied it. I mean, she came to me one time when she was pregnant and she was fucking mad about something. I mean, I just let that shit fucking roll off my fucking shoulders because it didn't fucking matter, like, I mean, it did, but it didn't. But one time, she was like, I was like trying to emphasize like how much I was trying to be a fucking dad, and she was like, well, you're the one that put this parasite in me, like it it was just something that was like feeding off of her, and that shit fucking bothered me it still bothers me, but she ended up being a fucking like the best fucking mom, dude. Like, she fucking stepped up when I fucking fell because I fell. It was probably like 2000 and I, when we finally got divorced, because she told me, oh, that was what I was trying to talk about. The reason we got divorced is, she came to me one time and was like, we need to stop. We can't keep doing this. And sometimes she would say that when we were high, because we rolled all the time. And, with ecstasy, you get into your feelings, dude. And, we would trip acid and mushrooms and shit like that, and we would like hold each other's hands and like fucking like feel. I personally have watched us die together, like where we have been laying in bed together and fucking like have turned into fucking like skeletons and been in a fucking hole and fucking like holding each other. Like, I have seen that with my own fucking eyes, dude. But I've also like I've had bad trips where, I remember one time we were tripping on acid, liquid. We took a couple of fucking sugar cubes and we weren't feeling anything. So we were like, oh, this shit's fucking bunk, like whatever. And we like took a couple fucking gravity bongs, GBs, and fucking, I don't know, man, it was something like I took that fucking GB and I fucking blew that shit out, and it was like instant. Like, I don't know what the fuck, I don't know why it triggered it like that, dude, but it was like instant. Something fucking just hit me, and it was like fucking, I felt like I was like trapped. It was not a good experience. I felt like I was trapped. I felt like the walls were fucking like, I don't know, I felt like I was like caged in. I couldn't fucking like get out, and I was trying to fucking like leave the apartment. We had this little fucking German Shepherd dog that, he was not a fucking good dog. At that time, we were not prepared to fucking deal with puppies and all of the responsibility that entails with that. But so me and the fucking, she was like blocking the door, like fucking like, you can't leave. And for some reason, like my fucking like, I was tripping, and it was like I saw her as like a demon that was like trying to fucking like keep me like in hell, and it was fucking weird, dude. And so we finally like went outside, me and the dog, and Melanie was like, yo, fucking like be careful, fucking whatever she was fucking saying. And it was like me and the dog, we were just like walking. This was like, we were still living like way back in fucking like Chester. so this was like back in like 2002 or some shit like that. And me and this little fucking dog, we're just like walking around this like apartment complex, like tripping balls. The dog is just like fucking like following along. And I thought, this was my mentality. Like, I thought that I had escaped hell and I was like alone, roaming the fucking earth, alone with this dog. And he was like he was like guiding me along. So I'm like following this dog for fucking like, goddamn, I don't know, it seemed like fucking hours. I mean, it seemed like forever. And finally, like, we walk in front of our fucking, like, our building thing. And, we're like walking by, and Melanie's like, Drew. And I was like, what? She was like, come inside. And I'm just like, fucking, what? It like threw me off into a different direction. And I was just like, okay. So we like, I'm like, the dog was like not trained at all. So like, he was following me, but he was like, I was more like following him. It was like, I had to like wrangle him. And then I was like, well, I was like, how long have I been gone? And I thought I had been gone for like fucking like 12 hours or so. Like, it was kind of at this point where I was like, I realized that I was tripping. And I was like, how long have I been outside? And she was like, 15 minutes or so. And it felt like I had been like roaming the earth for like fucking ever, dude. And like, I mean, literally, when I tried to fucking boil it down, I was like, fucking, I feel like it's been like it was like 12 hours or something. Because I felt like I had been out there for fucking ever. It was crazy. But that night, like, you know, we were still fucking tripping. And by that point, it was like we weren't tripping as hard, or at least me, I wasn't tripping as hard to like not know what reality was. So like, once I got back and like, you know, I knew where I was. I don't know, man, like, we laid in bed and we were just like, you know, we were just laying there. And this is before Donovan was even born. We were just laying there. And then, like, I don't know, it was like I saw our whole timeline, like, fold in. And it was like, you know, our whole life, you know, because you know, I've done this many a times. I did it with Stacy. You know, I thought that was the person that I was going to be with forever. And I fucking, you know, I had a whole fucking, like, you know, my insides never thought that I was going to be with anybody else. So I guess, like, you know, my mind took over, and, you know, I just like visualized our whole life, and it was just like kind of like I was laying there, but it was like I was like watching our life play out. And then we both just like turned to like skeletons while we were laying in the bed. And then we just laid there. And I think we eventually fell asleep because I don't remember anything after that. It was sweet. It started out like crazy, but it was really sweet. For me it was, you know. And, you know, me and Melanie have an on and off again relationship. I love her. I always will. I mean, you know, she's like the mother of my child, the love of my life. I mean, you know, she's married now. And, you know, her, I don't know how they're doing because I haven't talked to her in a while. I mean, it's been fucking at least a couple of years, which sucks because we used to talk all the time. I mean, I love her as a friend. I mean, she's fucking, I mean, I married her. I mean, she's one of the fucking coolest people that, if not the fucking coolest person that I've ever met in my life. I mean, she's fucking great. She took over whenever I fucking fell. She raised my fucking kid. My kid's fucking solid. I mean, you know, he's got his faults and, you know, he blames me for shit. Just like I fucking, you know, I didn't have a good childhood. He had the best one that he could have had. I mean, he didn't have it anywhere near what I had, but, you know, I am the problem. I fucked that up. Me and my kid's relationship I've tried to mend it so many fucking times, but, you know, sometimes things that are broke, you try to fix it with the wrong tape, you try to fix it with the wrong glue, you try to put a few nails in it, but it still won't stick. And it sucks. I knew him for most of his life, his younger life. He says he remembers. I mean, he was my fucking dude. I mean, when he was like little, like toddler wise, I mean, Melanie, whenever I went to the store, like Walmart or fucking Target or fucking, you know, anywhere, like, you know, I had that little book bag fucking, you know, thing that fucking you wear in front of you, and I took them everywhere. I always, like, anytime that I went somewhere, I had fucking Donovan with me. Because, I mean, Melanie, at that time, she wasn't about it. I mean, I didn't understand it, and I mean, you know, I still don't, knowing that she's as good of a mom as she is. Like, I mean, at first she wasn't. She didn't want anything to do with that shit. And I used to buy Donovan like all kinds of like designer fucking like jackets and fucking clothes. I mean, you know, I was balling, dude. I had fucking all kinds of fucking money, dude. I mean, Donovan was fucking decked the fuck out, dude. He was G'd the fuck out. He had jackets that fucking like, they were like little miniature toddler fucking like jackets that fucking, I asked her whenever, because I had to leave after everything went down and I stopped selling and I had fucking no income, and that's a whole other fucking story, but you know, that's why we got divorced, man. She told me one day, she came up to me and we were like talking, and she was like, I don't want to fucking do drugs anymore. And I was like, okay, I mean, that's fine with me, you know, do you? And then she came up with the whole, like, well, I've already talked to my family and or some shit like that. I don't want to quote shit that wasn't said because, but in in a summary, it was like you got like basically like you got 10 days to get all of the fucking drugs and everything out of the fucking house because she wanted to like clean herself up, which is admirable looking back. But at the time, it was like, yo, you know, this is like where our money comes from. Like, this is this is our livelihood that you're talking about. And 10 days, I wasn't like a corner fucking like selling fucking like, I wasn't going to parties and selling pills at a time. Like, I had jars of pills and I was like negating them out to other people that I fucking like had as associates, and they were the ones that were like distributing the shit, and we had different time limits, and I just went and collected money, and then like I got my money. I went to who I was getting it from, and then I would get a fucking bunch, and then I would fucking like distribute it out, and they were the ones that were doing the fucking work. So I had a fucking whole stash of stuff that I could not push out in 10 days. I wasn't pushing it like that, man. And so what had happened was, and she wanted everything else. She wanted the fucking hookahs. She wanted the bomb. I used to fucking like, I didn't invite too many people to my house, and that's the kicker. She fucking hated this, but anyways, we used to have a fucking like a hookah, and we had a fucking bong, like the fucking part you put the slider, but the bowl part was like this fucking big, dude. And you like put that shit like down inside of the top of it, right? So you could pack like an eighth of fucking like nugs on that shit, dude. I would pack that shit every day, dude. Like pack a fucking like eighth of fucking nugs up in there, like, and then we would just, you know, light that shit, and we would just hit the hookah all fucking day, you know, whenever we wanted to fucking smoke. Just go over, fucking like, you know, put the lighter on that shit, hit the hookah, and that shit would last like all day long, dude. Well, to get back to the story, she wanted everything gone, all the bongs, all the fucking, all the weed. She didn't even want weed in the house. I had like 3 or 4 pounds of fucking weed in the house. She wanted all that shit gone, dude. And I didn't even sell weed. That was just like shit that we had around. So I went to one of my dudes' houses. One of the dudes that I trust the most, that I did at the time. And he was like selling my mushrooms and my ecstasy. He didn't really fuck with the coke that much, but he was kind of like a hippie kid. Sold a lot of my mushrooms and a lot of my ecstasy pills. And I went to him and I was like, yo, I'm in a situation. I was like, do you mind if I like store some of my stuff at your house for a couple days, and then I will come back and get it, and you know, I'll kick you down, you know, for it. But it was basically like a trust thing, because it's like I'm fucking like giving this dude like fucking like jars of fucking pills and all of my paraphernalia, like my fucking bongs and my fucking hookahs and fucking like all of my stuff, dude. And he was like, well, you can hold it in this closet. And All right, but his girl, which I've seen on the street since then, like every time I see her, dude, like it reminds me of this shit because this shit was like so long ago, but I still see her like out and about every once in a while, and I'm just like, she used to work at Hot Topic, funny enough, and back then, fucking, they used to sell like all the like the UFOs and the kickwear and the fucking I mean back then I was still wearing like Jinkos and shit. Fucking shit, that shit's crazy to fucking think about. But anyways, she was like not happy that I had all that shit there because she thought that it was some like kind of setup or whatever, but it wasn't. I was just like trying to get my fucking shit like out to like appease her because I was like, a couple days this shit's gonna blow over. She's gonna be like, let's fucking like drop a couple. That's what I thought. So a few days went by, and then I was like, I'm trying to work out of fucking somebody else's fucking shit, which was like such an inconvenience. And not only that, but I was also like, they could have fucking like dipped in my shit, but at that point in my life, I mean, I was I was not the person that I am today. I was a little bit fucking more rough around the edges. People knew not to fuck me. Now these days, I mean, shit, I ain't even trying to front like I'm that guy because I'm not. But back then I was. People knew not to fuck me. So I wasn't really worried about that, but his girl was tripping. She did not want all that shit in her house. I guess, he was living there, but apparently it was her house, so she did not want that shit. So I went over, it was like a week or so later, and I let all the shit cool down. I didn't tell Melanie. I kept it a secret, which would later bite me in the ass. I didn't tell Melanie, and I brought all of the shit back. Brought it back to the house, and I hid it. So nothing was out in the open. I knew that she was trying to, do her thing. So I didn't keep anything out in the open. And I don't even think I was really using my top at that point. I mean, honestly, like, I had a bunch of coke all the time, but at that time in my life, I never really did coke. Pills was my thing. But, you can tell when somebody's rolling, for the most part. I mean, when we were eating like 10 pills a night, eating one or two just to like, feel, just to feel something, it wasn't a fucking thing. She couldn't really tell. I mean, shit, I ate mushrooms a couple times and she was none the wiser. But she found the weed. I think I sold weed to her brother or something. He wanted like I don't know, like a QP or something. I don't know. I mean, looking back on it, I don't know if it was a test or not. I mean, who knows? Fucking, it's whatever. But her brother wanted a quarter pound. So I was like, yeah, alright, whatever, come over. So I gave him a quarter pound. And it was like on Front Street too. Like, and then Melanie fucking rolled in and was like, what are you doing here? Like, talking about her brother and shit. And I don't know. I can't remember exactly because it's been so fucking long ago. I don't have a good memory. I don't have a good memory. I ate a lot of fucking pills in my day, and they say that shit eats your brain, and I've also drank a lot of alcohol, so I don't know which one is which as far as like the fucking with your brain, but either way, she figured out that I was fucking like selling him some weed, which I didn't even fucking sell weed. Which is the fucking funny part. So he leaves, fucking like me and her getting a fucking big ass fucking argument. She's fucking like, pissed. And at that point, man, there's a lot that goes into this, man. Because I feel like I know at this point in our relationship, we were young, so I don't hold it against her. I know that she was like dipping her Kool-Aid in other fucking pictures. And I knew that. And we would get in arguments. I mean, we were young, dude. When we were that young, dude, like we would just fight about dumb shit, like shit that today like would not matter. Like if somebody came at me with some shit that we were talking about like back then, it would be like, yo, whatever. But I feel like she knew that being disloyal to me was something that 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 fucked me up, that would like get to me, because that's how you fight, man. When you ain't using your hands, you gotta fucking get dirty. And when you find out somebody's weakness, you go at it. And she knew that like I expected fucking loyalty, which I do with everyone. I mean, to me, loyalty is like the most important trait. And, she made it a point to fucking break it, but she did it in a fucking way that fucking, she made me, she made me question her before I actually knew. Like, it wasn't blatant. Like, she would make little remarks and shit, and she would like have like, she wanted to start working, which I guess probably was a sign that she wanted to fucking do her own thing then. But she wanted to start working, and I was like, well, why do you want to fucking work? She got a fucking job at fucking what was her fucking first job? The fucking goddamn fish place, Captain D. She worked at Captain D. She'd be like fucking, she hated it, and I'm like, yeah, fucking no shit. Like, why the fuck do you want to work? Anyways, later on, she ended up getting this fucking like server job at fucking like Famous Dave's. I forget where it was at. It was somewhere in fucking Chesterfield. But she would come home every fucking night after that shit, and I would be fucking like stressed with my own shit because I gotta keep up with fucking. I got like 5 fucking people fucking that I gotta keep track of with my fucking money, And then I gotta fucking like, I'm indebted to fucking like someone else that could make or break me, like literally. I mean, fuck. I mean, that's how we did our shit. Like, it was, it was drugs and then money. We had it was a network of things. I, I, I only paid out, and I didn't have any money invested. I was just, I was just a distributor of things. I mean, I didn't start with anything. I just knew that I could fucking do it. I mean, I grew up in the fucking ghetto, man. I know how to hustle. I know how to do it. I mean, fucking, I could fucking like, I could walk out my fucking front door tomorrow and fucking, if I really wanted to fucking build some shit up, I could. I got out of it at the right time. I was kind of, I mean, I was kind of forced out of it, but I didn't turn back. I didn't try to find other fucking things. At the same time, me and Melanie were going through our shit, and she told me that I had 10 days to get rid of everything. And I was like, well, and then I fucking brought everything back into the house. She fucking like came at me and was like, yo, fucking like, it's over, fucking like, wanted to break up. She wanted to break up. Because of the fucking drugs that she was fucking doing. I mean, I get it. We had a little fucking kid, but it was like, yo, that we were fucking doing it, man. Like, I went legit, and I've been struggling ever fucking since. Even right now, man, I'm fucking struggling, bro. Struggling. Trying to fucking like figure out. I mean, at least I got a couple hustles, but they're all legitimate. I ain't doing no fucking. The only thing illegal that I'm doing is fucking driving without a motherfucking license. I got insurance on this motherfucker. I got it fucking titled in my name. I got fucking legit fucking tags and fucking legit fucking goddamn registration. I just ain't got no fucking license. But I tell you what, if I get fucking pulled over, you know what's gonna happen? They're gonna fucking throw my motherfucking ass in jail. And how am I gonna get out? How am I gonna get out of jail, bro? Because they're probably gonna set my bond at like what? I mean, for something, a petty fucking driving offense. I mean, they might let me out OR, but I haven't had a fucking ticket in a while. I haven't driven in a while. But, back in the day when I didn't have a license, I got caught like 3 or 4 times. And on top of that, I was horrible about fucking being like, well, I gotta go to court. No, I'm not. Like, I would fail to appear all the fucking time, bro. Like, never went to court. So I had all those, but that's been so many fucking years ago. So it's like now, when I go to court, well, I haven't been to court. I mean, I got that DUI, but I'm fucking, I don't know if I even have to deal with that shit because I went to ASAP 3 different times and fucking took 3 of the 4 classes. And they still fucking, and something happened every time on the 4th fucking class, and I wasn't able to go. But when I went to the DMV, they fucking said all I had to do was fucking take a fucking driver's course, which I looked it up, it's like $100. I gotta go do an intervention interview with VASOP. But it's the same shit that like I had to do before I even got the fucking like the DUI. Which the DUI fucking is, it's not even legit, dude. I mean, yeah, I had been drinking, but I also had a fucking cold. I was working all the way at Regency, and I was living on 17th and fucking Main Street, and I would have to go all the way down fucking Main Street, cut up, fucking go all the way down fucking Cary Street until it turns into River Road, all the way to fucking Parham and Regency fucking Square Mall. And it was fucking wintertime, man. Like, yes, like, I understand that you want me to fucking, like, do some, like, help out, which I was. I mean, I did a bunch of shit, man. Like, I did a lot of stuff. But if I don't fucking feel like, there was no fucking, like, it wasn't no, like, handshake and being, like, fucking, Mac never came to me and was, like, fucking, he even said to me multiple times, like, you know, take your time, you know, fucking, if, you know, get done what you can get done, which I got done a lot, man. I moved, dude, there was so much shit, like, and not just, like, shit, a bunch of heavy shit. And at that time, I had already broken my T5 and T6, which I had hardware on. So I already, like, was, like, you know, not at 100%. I'm more, I wanted that hardware out of my back so bad because it fucking hurt. I could feel it. Like, it fucking hurt. I got in this last accident. The last accident I got into was my 250 Vespa GTS. I hit the back of a Amazon truck on the corner, and then somebody fucking hit me from the oncoming traffic. I fucking still haven't figured it exactly out how it went down, but I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. They fucking took the hardware. I always said, I was like, dude, if I could, like, get the hardware that was on my fucking, like, from my T3 to my T8, I guess it was, if I could get those fucking rods out of my fucking back, my shit would feel so much fucking better. And I have to say, after my last accident, I broke my T1, my T2, my T3, and I broke my C6 and my C5. They didn't do anything to my C6 or my C5, but I can still feel it fucking crunching in there, which is fucking weird. It's like, one day if I crack my neck wrong, am I gonna fucking, like, graze my fucking spinal cord with a piece of fucking shattered bone that's in there and paralyze myself? Like, you know, shit's fucking, because it's weird. I can feel it crunching, and it sucks. But now I have my T1, which they fucking, you know, they took the fucking, they took the connector part out of my, which had 4 screws in it, just like this, boom. They took that out of the bottom, and then they took the 2 rods out of my spine that were, like, going like this, and then there was, like, another fucking, like, brace up top on, like, my T3, because they fused my or it was my T4 because my T3 was broken. My C5, C6, T1, T2, and then my T3 was like, it was like cracked up, but not like shatter broken. So they fucking like took and then they kept where it was like my T4, where they had the pins running down. So they took that out, and then they kept the top part, which is right about here on me, which I can still feel it fucking grinding. They took that part, and then they put the rods in this way up my fucking neck, and then they fused it to my T1. So now the only metal that I have is from my previous surgery. That was my T5 and T6, which they fused out of my T8, and then now they kept that top hardware, and then they fused that to my T1, and then they left my C5 and C6 alone, but I had to wear a neck brace for 8 weeks, which fucking sucked. I fought it at first. I don't know if it was because they had me all fucking doped up or whatever, but they said that fucking like I kept fucking like ripping my fucking goddamn IVs out and taking my fucking collar off and all that shit. I don't fucking know, but one thing I do know is the shit didn't fucking heal right. I can still feel it fucking crunching every time I fucking move my fucking goddamn neck. If I don't fucking have my goddamn Lyrica, which I took the last of this month's supply, which today is the I guess now is the 23rd of July. I don't get another fill until the 30th. So that is pretty much a week, which is good for me. Like, I'm doing better with spacing my shit out. But I'm still gonna have to go a fucking week without fucking having any fucking like medication for my fucking nerves and the pain. And that's where I fall into a trap of drinking, because drinking is a nervous suppressant, which is what hurts me, is my fucking nerves, because, you know, I did a number on I'm lucky. I mean, you know, the pain I should be blissful for, because, I mean, honestly, I'm alive. I could have, I mean, I should have died easily twice last year. I'm alive, I'm walking. I'm not fucking paralyzed. I'm not fucking... I'm able to fucking go out and fucking make money, even though I can't fucking like work in a kitchen anymore. I'm going to school. I'm trying. I'm gonna be a fucking, God willing. I just need to fucking buckle down, but I'm gonna be a goddamn respiratory therapist. 2 years. That's all I got. That's all I gotta do. I just gotta buckle down for 2 years. I gotta live. I gotta live my life. I just gotta fucking live. This is a story about rags to riches, back to fucking rags, dude. Once I stopped fucking slanging shit, dude, I chose to be fucking poor. I made that decision. And if I hadn't made that decision, I would probably be in prison right now. I wouldn't have broke my back twice. I wouldn't have went through all the fucking stupid relationship shit. Well, I probably would have, but, you know, when I was selling coke and I dated a lot of strippers and fucking, you know, people that you don't really fucking want to date. I mean, people that I wouldn't date right now, you know, like, I'm glad I did, but now I know what kind of people are, you know, to stay away from, man, like, and I know I was wild. Once I fucking, like, once I let myself loose in the world, and I knew what I was, but I wasn't anymore, but I still looked at myself like I was. Things changed. I made it a point to let everyone know that I'm important, but I had no reason to be important because I wasn't doing anything anymore. I had nothing to offer except for myself. I wasn't selling drugs anymore. I wasn't the person, because I've been that person, and I hang around those people, and I see it, and I'm just like, bro, like, yo, I used to be so much more, and these people will never fucking know exactly where I was in the game. It's crazy for me to even think about, because I don't even see myself as that person anymore. But like, looking back, it's fucking crazy. If I had that now, oh my god, dude, I would fucking, like, I don't even know. I mean, I couldn't wallow out. I'm too fucking old, man. Like, I'm 43 years old, dude. I can't even fucking, like, I can't even go out and fucking drink and have a fucking good time without it fucking affecting me the next day. I mean, even just drinking, I mean, that shit takes me out. Depending, I mean, at least fucking, like, the next day, I gotta have something to fucking, like, you know, recover, bounce back from. But like I said earlier, I did a little fucking powder today. Not much. I mean, you know, a good lollygagger line, as we used to fucking call it. You know, some people would probably broke it up into 3 or 4. I like doing mine. Just get it out the fucking way. But I give respect where, you know, I give respect. I see people out doing their thing. I respect that. I see people doing their thing more than other people are doing their thing. And I respect that. I know what to look out for. I know how to act. I might be old, but I still know how to throw down. I've had to put it down quite a number of times. And I ain't fucking scared to fucking... I ain't scared of anything. I ain't scared of no man. Ain't no man gonna scare me. Cause ain't no man fucking... I mean, there is gonna be some man that's been through more. And maybe have seen more than what I can fucking bring, but if so, we should have a common understanding of, you know, these days I'm just a white dude. I like punk rock music. I like fast drums. I like fast guitar. I love creating things. I love art in most forms. I love people. I love stories, and I love learning things. And this whole thing has just been learning. You have to go to school when you're younger. They give you grades and pass, fail. I'm in school right now. I gotta fucking write a goddamn paper. I got 8 days. 8 days to fucking come with fucking some shit that I don't even fucking know how to fucking start. But when it all boils down to it, man, this whole fucking life is just fucking, it's just school, man. It's just learning. I learn something new every fucking day. I'm gonna go inside. Just fucking tired of sitting out here and I gotta piss. Until next time.